Have you ever felt like you're finally catching your breath after weeks of non-stop work? You gave it your everything, stayed up late, skipped breaks, pushed through the burnout, and yet, the moment you try to rest, you feel guilty, like you're wasting time and should be doing more. That's actually the voice of hustle culture, the silent killer that says rest is weakness and your worth is measured only by your productivity. We didn't give it much thought, right? Gen Zs are constantly trapped in this cycle, juggling school, work, and social media, because that is what everyone else is doing. It's the new trend. We're expected to build our worth before we even figure out who we are. We're growing up under pressure, chasing productivity, and wearing busy like it's a badge of honor, but it's at the cost of our own peace. Hello everyone, my name is Nurin Shazwani binti Ahmad Karanizam, and today I want to shed light on something that's become so normalized we barely even question it: hustle culture. It's that constant pressure to do more, achieve more, and rest less, and it's quietly draining the joy and energy out of our lives. After some thorough research, I noticed how hustle culture affects people my age and firsthand how pushing too hard can lead to burnout, not in just others, but in myself too. I've seen and experienced how hustling has impacts on our health, and I believe that this topic is long overdue and it's time we talk about it to become more aware. Hustle culture sells us the illusion that constant productivity equals success, but it ultimately leads to burnout, loss of identity, and exploitation. So it's crucial that we prioritize our well-being to build a healthier and happier life. First, I'll uncover the core problem behind hustle culture. Then, I'll explain the harmful effects it has on us both mentally and physically. Finally, I'll share practical ways we can take back control and live a more meaningful life. Let's begin with the core problem we're all caught in. Not the exhaustion or the burnout, but the everyday habits that quietly feeds into hustle culture without us even realizing. The problem with hustle culture is that it's a toxic belief. From the start, this constant grind feels like a one-way route to success. Deadlines to meet, goals to achieve, and no time to pause. This non-stop push convinces us to sacrifice our sleep, meals, and self-care. As Desiree Osten, 2025 explains, it creates a constant need to be productive, and when you rest, it feels like laziness, not relaxation. This mindset doesn't just pressure us to work harder, it makes us feel guilty for taking care of ourselves, and we stop seeing rest as a necessity. Even our work performances are on the line too. Tired minds tend to make more mistakes. Reported by People Matters 2025, excess fatigue often leads to poor decision-making, lack of focus, and diminished creativity. So, while hustle may offer quick wins, it sets us up for a long-term burnout. That's not ambition, it's a breakdown in disguise. And here's where the damage cuts even deeper. When we never stop to breathe, we don't just lose energy, we start to lose ourselves. In hustle culture, productivity isn't just an action, it becomes a part of us, our identity. We're made to believe that our worth depends on how busy we are, and when we do pause, we feel guilty, like we're failing. According to an article by Newport Institute 2023, this constant overdrive doesn't just exhaust us, it breaks us. Burnout isn't just about being tired, it's our mind and body waving a red flag. And when our identity is built around achievement, breaking down feels like we're losing ourselves. As Psycho Wellness Center 2024 explains, this relentless chase for success takes a serious toll. Mentally, it can trigger anxiety, depression, and chronic stress. Physically, it shows up as back pain, tired eyes, and even premature aging. What we think is productivity is actually pushing us past our limits. But here's the good news. This cycle doesn't have to continue, and it starts with one powerful decision: to value and prioritize ourselves just as much as we value success. In a society that glorifies non-stop hustle, choosing ourselves is an act of courage. As DMP 2024 reminds us that while achievement brings us to the finish line, true fulfillment comes from a healthy balance between work and life. Redefining success means setting clear boundaries, reclaiming our time, and giving ourselves permission to slow down without the guilt. It's about shifting the goal from constant output to consistent well-being. But this isn't just an individual battle, it's a cultural shift. Candy Wins 2025 puts it, creating a culture that resists burnout takes all of us. We each play a role by modeling healthier habits, supporting those who choose balance, and rejecting the idea that rest is weakness. Awareness is only the first step. What truly matters is the path we take, either choosing the road to short-term wins or the road to a fulfilling life. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on our key ideas we've covered. First, we've discovered the crucial problem about hustle culture in our generation is the toxic belief. We talked about how constantly pushing ourselves can damage our mental health and disconnect us from who we really are. And most importantly, we've learned that choosing rest and prioritizing well-being is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength. So now, I encourage you, listen to your body, check in with your mental health, and give yourself permission to rest. Success isn't just about how much we can do. It's about how well we take care of ourselves while doing it. Because at the end of the day, your worth isn't defined by how busy you are, but how you fully live it. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this inspires a fresh perspective on finding true balance in your life.